Isometric top-down racing games have been a staple of gaming since the early 80s, where arcade titles like Championship Sprint and latterly Iron Man Ivan Stewart's off-road racing were incredibly popular arcade games. This led to games like Rock and Roll Racing on the NES, Skid Marks on the Amiga, and even more top-down types of games like the hugely popular Micro Machines on home consoles. It's a genre of game I've always liked and the type of game that's perfect for the Switch, especially ones with local multiplayer options. And this all brings us to the latest version of the isometric racing game to be released on the Nintendo Switch, and that's Binary Mills Mini Motor Racing X, an update to an older title which lacked the X moniker. Mini Motor Racing X definitely borrows elements from those types of games I mentioned at the start of the review, and with nearly 40 years of history to draw from, there's really no excuse in putting together a greatest hits of gameplay from the genre. There's the bumpy, dusty, twisting tracks that could be pulled straight out of the Ivan Stewart game, racetracks and cars with crossover sections from the Sprint series, and even a micro mode which sees your already dinky cars shrunk down to tiny toy-like versions with nippy acceleration. The heart of Mini Motor Racing X is a lengthy career mode which features 8 championships across 52 tracks, and each having day and night versions and weather effects. The variety is incredibly impressive, with themed locations having suitable trackside novelties like the wild animals on the dusty plain tracks or the mega yachts moored off the docks on the faux Monaco style racetracks. Each track style is accompanied by a suitable soundtrack, the more relaxing vibe of a mountainside climb to the twanging hillbilly banjos through the swampland. The presentation always throws up something new to make things feel fresh, which is needed at times as the short, twisty, blink and you'll miss them tracks can get a tad repetitive to play on longer sessions. Mini Motor Racing X is definitely best tackled in short, adrenaline-filled bursts. On track you have a decent selection of cars to start with more unlockable through the career mode, and each vehicle has an impressive number of liveries available, making even the same model feel very different to play. Take the van for example, which has amongst its choices a replica of the A-Team van and also the Spooky Machine from Scooby-Doo, which all adds to the fun and also hammers home the care and attention Binary Mills have given the game. Cars can also be upgraded in each of the 4 stats with cash earned from winning races or picking up money that randomly pops up during a race. Races start small with just 2 opponents early on, but as you work your way through tougher championships, the number of cars on track increases, and with each new opponent, the difficulty and more importantly the fun is cranked up. Having a demolition derby with 6 other cars as you boost and jostle for the lead is just an excellent fun time. Cars control with ZR and ZL to accelerate and brake, and a tap of the A button will fire a limited number of boosts, though more can be collected during the race if you're the first one to nab them. Cars drift with a satisfying ease, and the cartoonish exaggeration of the tyres slipping around under the cars adds a lot of character, especially when viewed from one of the chase camera angles. Ah yes, the camera angles. On the surface this does look like an old school isometric racer, but you can actually cycle through a satisfying number of different cameras, including amazingly an interior camera, each making the races feel very different, and I highly recommend experimenting with them all. It's almost like a different game, playing from the chase or internal cam to the default higher angled one. In addition to the basic career, there is now what's called the X mode. This is a completely new championship with different tracks, and in this mode weapons and power-ups are introduced, making the game something more akin to Mario Kart. To be honest, I prefer the vanilla mode to this, as the same Mario Kart issues remain. The car in front of the pack is targeted by weapons, making it pretty pointless to hit the front early on. There aren't many defensive weapons, and you're given a random weapon on each new lap, which may help or hinder you depending on your needs at the time. It's great this mode's been included though, as I can imagine in multiplayer, with which the game features local and online modes for up to 4 players, there is more mileage to be had here than playing against the AI. Finally, there are some additional party modes which include the aforementioned micro mode, some time trials, single races, and quite amazingly an almost full replica of Rocket League in a mode called Bumper Ball. This mode is a 2v2 team match played in an arena where you have to hit a football into the goals to score more than the other team over 3-minute matches. Again, this mode can also be played from any camera angle, which is quite fun, and overall will serve as a nice distraction from the more straight up racing modes. So overall, Mini Motor Racing X is an absolutely brilliant addition to the Switch library, especially if you have local buddies to play against, and the massive amount of content will keep you busy for quite some time. As I mentioned earlier, the small tracks, which only take a couple of minutes at most to complete, can get stale when they come one after another and start to feel a little bit samey in terms of how the races play out, but there's no denying there's fun here which will only increase when online is populated, or as I said, you can grab someone to play against locally. Mini Motor Racing X may be the best in class on the Switch, and with that said, I'm going to be giving it a really solid 8 out of 10. Well, thank you so much for watching this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and leave me a comment below if you're picking this one up. And as always, please subscribe if you're new here and enjoyed the video. But until then, I will catch you all next time. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.